Well, good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us here on Up with KREM. I'm Channing Curtis.
Glad to have you here with us. I'm Tim Pham. Happy Friday Eve, everyone.
That's right. Time to party.
Yes, we are one day closer to the weekend. Well, wow. Talk about a warm start to December, though, because really some parts of central Washington not really feeling like winter. There were some places like Omag all the way in the 70-degree range. They were 74 degrees yesterday, breaking a record. So meteorologist Thomas Patrick told us this would happen. We could break records. Thomas, good morning. Can we expect more of that warm weather?
Yeah, good morning, Tim. Good morning, Channing. Warm weather, yes. Records, not quite. It won't be quite in the 60s or 70s today as it was yesterday, but still fairly mild even this morning. Again, it's December. We should really be in the 20s, that 20-degree range as of this hour, but we are about 20 degrees above average. In fact, you could actually compare it to that June heat wave that we had. During that heat wave, we were in that like 20 to 30 degrees above average temperature range. We had kind of the same thing happen to us just yesterday with 60s and 70s for the first day of December. But right now we're still in the 40s and even 50s across the area. It's 56 in Lewiston and Pomeroy right now, 50 at St. Mary's, and it is 53 in Othello. As I was trying to pick out all the areas still in the 50s as of 6 o'clock in the morning. Low 50s for the high temperature today, really because it's not quite as windy out there. That wind helping to what's called advect some warmer air into the region. Not quite as strong for today, but still pretty mild, but that won't be the case beyond today. 40s and 30s for this weekend. And yes, you do see a snow icon for Saturday. Looks like a small chance for snow. Probably should be pretty minor in terms of impacts for the area, but a good chance for snow come next week after the weekend. We'll show you just when you can expect the return of these winter-like conditions after this warm week we've had.
A traffic alert for you. If you plan to use I-90 between Liberty Lake and Spokane Valley, you should plan for additional travel time for the next week. Taking a live look right now, the Washington State Department of Transportation saying it will be reduced to one single lane in both directions today through Friday from 7 p.m. until 5 a.m. Now, the single lane reductions will also happen on Monday at the same time. This is for construction on the new Kramer Parkway undercrossing. We'll keep you updated. This morning, 2 men are recovering after a shooting in Post Falls. The suspect, 31-year-old Tyson Sturkle, now in custody.
So both victims are in stable condition. The police say that this was a random shooting and they believe Sturkle may have been on drugs. The Post Falls police chief said investigators are questioning the suspect to figure out if he had any motive for this shooting.
The shooting happened in the shared parking space with a gas station and the Coca-Cola coffee stand. Now, this happened around 1:30 yesterday afternoon. After the shooting, Sturkle drove off and his crime spree continued.
He ditched his truck and stole another one near Greens Ferry Road and Hayden Avenue. Sturkle then drove to Highway 53 and McGuire Road where he carjacked another truck.
Kootenai County deputies caught him after a short pursuit and he was taken into custody.
So baristas at the Coca-Cola coffee stand witnessed this shooting, and this morning that's where we'll find KREM 2's Nicole Hernandez. Good morning, Nicole.
Good morning, Channing and Tim. So one of the people that was hurt during this shooting was actually getting coffee from Coca-Cola coffee stand here, got coffee and parked in some of the shared parking spaces behind us. So the Coca-Cola coffee stand actually posted this on Facebook yesterday showing what they saw happen. They say that gun went off and the bullet went through that person's windshield, hitting him in the neck. So take a listen to this call from authorities after that shooting happened.
We have 2 patients. One patient that was shot in the neck. Would you inform Kootenai Health of priority 1 trauma coming their way? Gunshot wound to the neck.
Now that man had surgery last night and a second man was injured by shrapnel. Both are expected to be okay though. Coca-Cola Coffee posted, like I mentioned, this to their Facebook page. It reads in part, quote, "It was very scary for everyone and for our girls. We love and appreciate all of your support and ask for only positive thoughts and vibes for all involved during this hectic time." Now, this morning, Coca-Cola Coffee is back open. You can see cars in their drive-thru. They are just asking, as people go through their drive-thru, that they have kind words for everyone that was involved and are just nice as, of course, they go through this hard time. Live in Post Falls, I'm Nicole Hernandez.
Well, this is a developing story. We will keep you updated here on Up with KREM and on KREM.com.
6:04 now, time for your morning rush. More news in less time.
A Spokane woman was killed during a trip to Cancun over Thanksgiving weekend. According to a Cancun newspaper, 26-year-old Sativa Transu was found dead in her hotel room Saturday night. Her boyfriend was arrested and remains in Mexico on homicide charges. Her family says they've had issues with her boyfriend for more than 3 years.
We want to get Sativa home. At this point, Taylor's lawyers are having her body held there. We can't even get her body home to America. And so we want to get her body home.
Sativa's family set up a GoFundMe page to get her back into Washington.
Today, for the first time, Washington's Missing and Murdered Indigenous People Task Force will meet. State Attorney General Bob Ferguson formed the new task force as more attention is being given to the staggering number of cases in Indigenous communities across the country. And the task force wants to hear from you, but you do have to sign up to leave your comments. So all you have to do is text the word missing to 509-448-2000. We'll send you a link with all of that information on how you can register to leave a comment right to your phone.
Local nursing schools are feeling the impact of nursing shortages. The Associate Dean of Academic Affairs at WSU's College of Nursing says they are turning away applicants because they just simply can't handle any more students.
In fact, every year we have a really significant number of very qualified applicants that we cannot admit because we don't have the faculty resources and the clinical placement resources to educate them.
As WSU is exploring things such as simulated clinical opportunities and offering hiring incentives to attract nurses to transition to teaching.
Washington's statewide digital vaccine verification tool has officially launched, and you can find it at waverify.doh.com. So if you're vaccinated against COVID-19, it will ask for some information before sending you a QR code. At that time, you'll be able to use it to present at restaurants, arenas, and other establishments to prove that you're vaccinated. That's your Morning Rush.
The U.S. has confirmed its first confirmed case of the Omicron variant of COVID-19 in California.
So health officials say it was only a matter of time before this happened. With much still unknown about the new variant, today President Biden will lay out new steps to fight COVID-19 this winter.
So this includes requirements for wearing masks on public transportation from January to mid-March. The White House also plans to tighten rules for anyone flying into the country.
Now, in the meantime, Washington state health leaders say don't panic as they learn more about the Omicron variant.
They say the bigger threat is what's already here. The Department of Health says it won't be a surprise once Omicron shows up here in Washington state.
There are a lot of things that we don't know about this new variant, but what we do know is that vaccines work. We have plenty of reason to be concerned about what is in front of us, which is the Delta variant. And that includes doing all the things that we need to do in order to fight not just the Omicron variant or whatever variant comes our way, but the current Delta variant in our state.
During the briefing, health leaders say even if Omicron is detected here, Washington's COVID response will not likely change. The focus will continue to be on self-isolation, identifying close contacts, and testing.
In Idaho, health leaders say they've seen a decline in hospitalizations and cases.
North Idaho is still under crisis standards of care. And as for the Omicron variant, health leaders say they are prepared. They're researching to try and understand the variant's transmission rates. But Idaho health officials do have a way to tell when it arrives.
One of the things that's peculiar about the Omicron variant is that it's much like the Alpha variant that we saw last spring in that there is a unique PCR profile for certain tests that may give us a sneak peek that it's here. So there's a particular gene target that doesn't amplify. And when we see that particular profile, it's an indication that we may have the Omicron variant present.
Dr. Christopher Ball from the Idaho Bureau of Laboratories says the Bureau is in communication with Idaho clinical labs to watch for this particular PCR profile.
As research continues, health officials say the best way to protect yourself is by getting vaccinated.
We know you may have questions about this new variant,
so we're making it easy for you. For the very latest information, just text the word COVID to 509-448-2000 and we'll send you a link right to your phone.
We're all in this together. We're not alone. And we're going to get through it together.
A fourth person has died in the Michigan school shooting. How the community is remembering the lives lost.
Then later in our next half hour, Jake Dickert will officially be introduced as WSU's next head football coach.
And here's one thing to know weather-wise to get you out the door this morning. One more warm or mild day today. It won't be a record breaker, but we will see temperatures in the 50s for the 5th straight day. After that, things will cool down heading into the weekend.
And that leads to our question of the morning. How are you feeling about December's weather right now? Do you like it to be warm? Do you like it to be cold? Of course, you drive the conversation on this show. Right now, we already have a couple of responses right now. Most people are saying they miss the cold weather. Somebody even said, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
I like the warm.
I like the cold. I love it. I'm looking forward to some sweater weather. Come on, bring it on. You don't forget you can text us your thoughts to 509-448-2000. And while you're on social media, use the hashtag #UpWithKREM and you might see your comments right here on the show.
But first, here's a live look outside. We say good morning to you, Inland Northwest. Let us know where you're watching from this morning. We're so glad you're waking up with us.